I'm Mary Karr. I'm a poet and a memoirist. Well, as I said in class, I was a lonely child, and I read somewhere once that writing or art should disturb the comfortable and comfort the disturbed. And I think I was disturbed, and I either read about feelings I didn't have and therefore could empathize better with other people, or I would find my own feelings of fear and difficulty and self-consciousness reflected in a poem. And it just made me, I always say it's Eucharistic, that we take somebody's suffering into our bodies, and through passion, we're transformed by it. So I think it works the way communion works. It makes a community of us. I would just say don't show it to them. And I would say it's very hard to write about it when you're young. As you get older, it's much easier. When you're 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, if you're in that range, you should be angry at your parents. If you actually watch nature shows, you'll see with primates and monkeys and gorillas, the teenage monkeys come up and slap their parents, and then the parents slap them. And if we didn't have that conflict, you'd never leave and have your own nest, right? You'd stay at home forever. You'd never go reproduce and have your own family. So again, I think resolving all those issues, to have to write about it in the midst of that turmoil, I think would be very hard. It's not an outlet, no. It's supposed to be a work of art. I did therapy to deal with it. And so in therapy, you pay them. In memoir, hopefully they pay you, so. They can't be too hung up on perfection. It can't be too perfect. Just, you can't revise. Very few people will revise and make it worse. I know, isn't that great? That's my big thing, is I feel like I have to represent the sinners to the saints and the saints to the sinners. I feel like, my story of faithlessness is not different than anybody else's, but maybe I'm better at describing it to people of faith so that they understand what that's like, really how foreign it is. And I have a Facebook page, and one of the interesting things that's happened is I have people of all faiths kind of talk there, and people who are completely godless. And I don't let anybody sort of trash anybody. I don't let anybody, there's drag queens and transsexuals and gay people and, Pentecostal preachers and, Jews, just the whole gamut of faith and experience. And I think we're supposed to be able to stand in a room together, is all. And look at each other past those surface differences with love, or else we're in hell. We're in hell if we don't do that. We're in that, for me, I'm in that voice of criticism and hatred, and I can't live there. I can't live there. I can live there, but I can't live there and even be halfway decent on the planet, I highly recommend it. I think, there's Hopkins, and there is not much of a great Christian poetry. I think that's a fabulous thing to do. And, and it's funny, I had an assistant for a long time who had a very strong faith. And I said to her, you need to be writing about this. You need to find a way to represent this to the world, because otherwise people don't get it. They just don't get it. So I think that's, it's one of the things I try to do with what I'm writing now, is try to represent, I was just somewhere, I was at New York Hospital. I spoke at Grand Rounds for the School of Psychiatry. And someone came up and was just yelling at me about the Catholic Church, and, said, yeah, our priests have sodomized altar boys. You want me to defend that? No defense, What are you going to do? the American government bombs people and kills them. You know, I oppose that too, but I'm still an American. So, and he's like, well, don't you think that blah, 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 blah. I said, look, you know, I feel better doing this. If I felt better being Jewish or Baptist, I'd do that. You know, this fits me, so. Oh, John Keats. That's easy. Maybe This Living Hand, the This Living Hand fragment, or one of the odes, Ode to a Nightingale or something. So Keats, or I'd also be big on Dickinson, reading Dickinson, or Stevens, reading Stevens. So.